Jacob Shake going to be playing against Florin-Cristian Loghin, playing Starvo. Let's get down to the match and see how this is going to play out. Love the camaraderie, love the sportsmanship from these guys.
Always, it's great.
This community is absolutely amazing. Everybody's so happy to be here. Hey, what we start off with the Starvo activation?
Start off with the activation, how we mean to finish. Got a whole fridge there as well, the tectonic plating, the gloves, the stalagmite. Like, he's starting off with a high life total here.
I love how you refer to that. Got the whole fridge. It's been a while since I've heard that.
There we go.
Earth, Lore, Surge coming out of the hand. You get a little bit of a block in here. Just some generic damage. Going to filter the hand just a little bit and save some life here from Jacob Shaker. Doesn't want to get rid of all those cards just yet. But there is a dominated attack here, so let's see if he gets another attack, and it doesn't look he's going to let him filter anything. We got an activation of the tectonic plating here.
I mean, this is just fantastic. This is exactly how you want to start the game, by doing a fuse, coming in for some big damage, making a seismic, and arsenaling a crippling. So that crippling is going to be able to be played off 2 blues now. Like, you couldn't line it up better. This matchup is all about the on-hit effects. Crippling and Spinal Crush is what you want to hit them with. If you're just fusing and whacking them with Earths, the Briar deck can actually race that. Briar puts out a massive amount of damage as well. So, you know, but the on-hits, the discard 2 cards, and the Spinal Crush they can't really block, that's what's going to swing the matchup.
What you're saying is generic damage, no problem. On hits, that's a problem.
That's the problem, exactly.
Yeah. Speaking of other problems, whiffing on Sonata Arcanix, not the best way to start this turn off, but it looks like, oh, here we go, ding, ding. Kobe.
We love it.
Count it.
Shoot we got the hoop.
Yeah, we got to. We got an attack here for 5, Living the Dream. Because the tome on top of the deck does not actually pitch for resources, this will attack for the full 5. Ravenous Rabble, the 5-hour. This is one of the things I've always wanted to do. I've played a ton of this deck. I've never been lucky enough to reveal the tome to this. And I feel like I've not gotten to fully experience that. I've been left out when it comes to this.
Yeah, you definitely have been. It's really cool to do. It feels like cheating. Like
get that little extra cheeky point in there.
Yeah. I mean, 5 power for 0 with Go Again is just like the best rate you can get in this game. Like, that's better rate than anything. So
absolutely. It's like, you know, you've been running good all week. And I mean, you have to run good. Like, you got to play good 100%. And you got to run good to make a top 8 or a Pro Tour and make a top 4. And you're like, why wouldn't I reveal a tome? Yeah, this is my weekend.
In fairness, he was owed that tone. He just whiffed a Sonata.
That's true. That's true. That's a good point.
That's just how it goes around, right?
Briar giveth and Briar taketh.
So this is quite interesting for Florin, because I don't think he has 2 blues. So he's got the crippling with the seismic set up there, but I don't think he has 2 blues. So he may have to Art of War here to try to get 2 blues so that he has the most efficient use of it.
Yeah, we'll have to see here. Art of War, a card that I've seen in and out of these Starvo lists. Not super popular, but it is in this Florin-Cristian Loghin version of the
I
deck.
could be wrong. That might be 2 blues. Can't quite tell.
Yeah, this does look like this Rosetta Thorn is going to finish off this turn with a 2-2, pushing a little bit more damage Loghin's way. He's already down to 35. If you like big attacks going back and forth, if you like classic Flesh and Blood, like attack you, block, attack you, block, this is the match for you.
Smash of the Titans.
Looks like he's going to take this 4 as well.
Just taking the damage. Here we go. Just hit me. Let's race. I've got on hits.
Yeah.
You know?
This is kind of scary, right? If you're sitting across, like if you're in Jacob Shaker's seat and you just you present 9 damage this way and the Starvo player just takes it, are you a little worried?
Absolutely. I'm thinking they either have a Crippling Crush or a Spinal Crush in Arsenal, and they're about to fuse me. Like,
it does look like this is an Oakenold I've got sitting down here too.
Yeah, he's got Oakenold in hand, but he can't cast that one unless he wants to take a bit of a risk with the Crown, which I think unlikely. I think he's just going to be perfectly happy with a big Crippling here. Might do an Art of War. All right.
Does look like we're going to start off with Art of War, making a Seismic Surge.
Yeah, wants to have it again for next turn. Okay, so I think it wasn't 2 blues, it was a yellow and a blue. So it's pitch, crippling, you've got the Seismic Surge for next turn as well.
And then he's still got that Oakenold saved him as well, so we're going to have back-to-back turns of huge attacks with those on hits. Florin setting up to have a very nice couple of first turns of this game.
Yeah, well, as I said, that's exactly how you win this matchup. Those on hits are what you need to be doing. So I think he just wants to set up to be able to do that as often as possible, and he's going to be able to disrupt him.
Yeah, this looks like a block for 8, I believe, along with the Embodiment of Earth, so it's not going to trigger Crush on Crippling Crush, so he's going to be able to save the card left over in his hand.
But that's turn 2 giving up an equipment already. Those equipments are absolutely clutch in this matchup. Like, he needs to be able to turn off those on-hits.
Now, you say that about how clutch they are. Are they super important for you to block the on-hit attacks that you say are so important?
Yeah, exactly. So basically, you want a Spinal Crush to only hit you for 3, and you want a Crippling Crush to only hit you for 3. And those equipments really help you to kind of pivot that.
This looks like a little bit better.
Oh, it's another
never
whiff.
mind.
These Sonatas are not going well for Jacob here.
Yeah, you can see he's got a little bit of a grin on his face, but I don't know if it's a grin of pain.
How-
Maybe it is.
How do you see a grin? They're both wearing masks.
The eyes. It's in the eyes.
All right.
You never just look into my eyes?
You're a poker player, right? I don't know. All right, so we got just
Here's the
one
Gargonian
more
Tome.
card. I think he only had a 2-card hand this turn, right? So it's Sonata whiff and then one more card.
This does make an embodiment of embodiment of lightning token.
Yeah.
So if there are 2 attacks here, we can maybe both. Oh, we're getting a little dancey
Yeah,
here.
yeah, coax a commotion, coming in with go again. So this does threaten something, right? This is an on-hit, but it's so interesting here because Starvo can make use of all of those abilities as well. Like, do you really want to give Starvo an extra card when they're a fuse deck?
That seems super scary to me. And we do see the first block of that Stalagmite. This is what you were talking about, getting in that Frostbite token. That's immediately going to get paid for. Looks like a Tome is going to pay for that and finish off with a 2-2 here. So
yeah, so this is where Jacob gets rewarded for playing 18 blues, right? If he had a red in hand right now, that Stalagmite would have just ended his turn. So the blue means he could still come in for the 4 with the weapon and keep the pressure going.
yeah. Let's get those life totals updated. Looks like, yep.
Are we 30 to 31?
30 to 27. Yeah, we haven't got the 4 in yet.
Take 4, yeah.
Yeah. So
and we've used up 2 equipment from the Starvo side, 1 equipment from the thing. It is a very close game right now.
are you going to be using your equipment a little more aggressively in this game because you think it's going to go a little shorter?
Okay. Yeah. I think both players are effectively racing with the Briar player just hoping there isn't as many on hits and the Starvo player hoping there is. But both players need to get their opponents to the point where they have to block with cards because both of these decks are just fantastic at playing out 4 and 5 card hands, right? They're decks that do way more damage if you can combine a whole lot of stuff.
Absolutely. Looks like we're going to use a Frostfang to make another Seismic Surge token. That we've been doing all this, and I do think I see an Earth card and an Ice card left over in the hand here. So this does look like this is only going to cost 2 for Oakenhold, and it looks like we're going to have a fuse. So reveal. So this Oakenhold coming in for 9.
Yep.
Dominated. On hit. Put 2 cards in the bottom of your deck. These are the attacks that you said you really needed to worry about as the Briar player.
Yeah, definitely. These on-hit attacks. Man, that was interesting. I would have been tempted to try to let that coax the commotion hit in case he gives you a Quicken token, and then you can go Oaken, Quicken, Hammer.
Oh, wow. That would have been a huge turn.
I mean, it's risky, right? Because you're giving the Briar player another Quicken token as well.
Some extra free damage.
Yeah, but you are coming in with an Oakenhold, though. It's like, will they be able to use it? Maybe later. So, yeah.
Looks like a block from a Force of Nature card that's really, really important in this matchup. You put that with a Channel Mount Heroic, and you've got a good thing going. But
speaking of good thing going, hitting with an Oakenhold is definitely a way to win games in the flesh and blood.
Yeah, so these 2 cards are going to go to the bottom of the deck. Jacob's going to go back with only 1 card in his hands. Not where he wants to be in this matchup. And we're not even done with this turn yet. Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
we are.
Yeah. There's no go again on this one, but Florin's definitely taken the lead in this game. This is his game to lose, but I've played against Briar. I think we've all played against Briar enough to know that you never count this deck out, right? Like, this deck can piece together just amazing turns. So if Florin stumbles, we could see back-to-back, like, 16, 18 damage turns out of Briar, and all of a sudden the shoe's on the other foot,
Absolutely, and this is the kind of turn you don't want to see, but all of us have been here the turn where you're like, well, I guess all I got, I'm going to use my Tunic counter to attack you with a Rosetta Thorn for 2. And then we're going to arsenal up this last card, I got to believe. That 2 is going to be received from Florin here. Going to go down to 25.
Yeah.
Looks like we're going to pass back over.
You got to grab life where you can. Any points of life, get your arsenal there, set up, and hope for a better day. I
was about to say, bad for the Briar player. There was no activation of Crown at the end of the turn. That means Starvo's got it in his hand already.
Here we go. It's a fusing Starvo. Now, does he have the on-hit, or is this just a... I mean, you've got to think he possibly does, or he's looking for it with Crown, right? Oh. Here we go. That's 9.
It's going to be attacking in for 9.
That's a lot of damage.
Here's the point. At what point of your life total do you just not even care anymore when your opponent? What point of your opponent's life total do you not care anymore about the on hits? Like, all damage is good at this point. When they start getting a little bit lower than 24.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's in that sort of mid double digit life total, that 15, where or under 15, where 1 fused attack is lethal. So they have to block something. So. All right, so we're making a Seismic Surge. So what I think's very smart about Florin here is while he's ahead, Ooh, okay, that's a Channel Lake Frigid.
And then we're going to get the ice card into our
beats
pit
just
zone
keep
as well.
on going.
Yeah.
So just after Jacob's taken the damage and chosen not to block, now you're Channel Lake Frigid. I'm going to shut down those cards you didn't block with.
Yeah.
This is brutal.
Yeah, this is an amazing draw from Florin-Cristian Loghin. His deck is operating on all cylinders here. We got high octane coming out of the Starvo list. And then we got a cold 4 coming in as well. So not only is Channel Lake Frigid going to happen, if any of this damage comes through, he's going to get a Frostbite as well, just putting Jacob more into the blender here.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob did come prepared for these scenarios, though. I mean, he was saying to me before the match, I'm playing 18 blues. Like, their Channel Lake Frigids are not going to be nearly as threatening as they are versus other Briars and other aggro decks. So he is trying to, you know, he's built his deck to face these situations as best as he can. But you can't be happy going 15 to 25 facing down this board.
Absolutely not. I mean, this one's on pace to be the fastest match of the top 8 by a considerable margin so far. This one's been at a blistering pace.
Yeah, I think that's generally how this matchup goes. It is Clash of the Titans. It is massive power, you know, smashing against each other, right?
Yeah, these are two decks that can generally ignore a lot of what the opponent's doing, right? They're like, I'm going to focus on my big thing that's happening, my big attack or my super wide attack, and you know, you figure it out.
Yeah.
As Flake says, give me the bill when it's all said and done. I'm coming back with everything I got.
No, fair enough. I think pretty much most turns, both players look at their hand because both decks just don't block that well. So both players look at their hand and they're like, if I've got something to attack you with, I'll just take whatever you've got, and then you have to take what I've got, you know.
Speaking of big attacks, I think we've got one lined up here. This looks like a Nimbleism into, is that a Force of Nature?
Here we go. So as I said, you know, a big turn through a Channel Lake Frigid because he's playing 18 blues. He's just pitching a couple blues. Says, I'm still going to do my big turn. Like, you know,
yeah, and as
I'm going to make your Channel Lake Frigid irrelevant if you have to start blocking with stuff.
Absolutely. There was a fuse on that as well. So this is an 8 power Entwined Lightning coming in. It even has Go again as well here. So there are some resources floating. So there is something possibly coming in behind this as well.
Yeah, it's got a little pseudo plunder run effect here as well. Like if you let me hit, I'm drawing a card. I mean, we all know that was pretty powerful. They banned it, right?
Yeah.
So
And this is what you were talking about. This is one of the turns that Jacob needed to get back in this game. This is a turn that could put some fear in Florin-Cristian Loghin.
Absolutely, and I think Florin's looking at a Blizzard in his hand right now and being like, man, this guy's got 2 blues. My Blizzard does nothing. Like, how am I supposed to block this?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, this was exactly Jacob's plan.
So we got a pitch of an Artivore into play of an Artivore here. It's going to be banish and draw 2, and I'm assuming the other mode is +1.
+1, yeah.
Right.
+1 to your attack actions.
Yeah, this will actually let them block for a little bit more if that's something that Loghin is interested in this turn as well.
I mean, you've got to be in a good spot when your opponent's blocking. There might be 14, life discrepancy, but if your opponent's forced to block and they don't block well and you're about to draw a card, you've got to be feeling pretty good.
I think Jacob's feeling pretty good
I
about
know.
the way this turn's going out, because it looked like he was going to just lose a game super fast, and this is one of the best case scenario response turns that he could have had.
Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely the thing. Never ever count Briar out. If you stumble 1 second against Briar, the amount of damage that they can put out, the amount of pressure that they can follow up with is just scary.
She's just waiting to pounce.
Yeah, she is. Absolutely. I played a lot of games against Briar with Tarek, and honestly, I've been like 15 life ahead, feel like I've got everything. I still got
this
equipment.
one in the bag.
Yeah, and then just somehow he just pulls some craziness.
2 turns later, you're losing. You're like, what happened?
Yeah, I'm like taking 16, 18 damage for 3 turns in a row, and I'm just like, wow, all right, well, you pivoted this.
All right, so it looks like we got some creative blocks getting lined up here. Possible. Looks like the Stalagmite's going to come out for its last point of block. The Tectonic Plate was kind of played with a little bit there, but it looks like it only is going to be Stalagmite, Bastion of Eisenloft for the block here, so that's going to soak up 1 of this 8 damage. There's going to be a Frostbite triggered here. A lot of stuff's going to happen here. A couple triggers.
Yeah, he's going to draw a card first, plunder on, let's go.
Yep, Frostbite, Embodiment of Earth, the last card. What does he want to do with it? Looks like he's going to pitch for resources. Attack over with the Rosetta Thorn. So 2 and 2 coming in here.
Yep, pitch to pay for the Frostbite and for the Channel Lake Frigid to attack with the weapon.
Yep, so it looks like Tectonic Plating is going to kind of block a little bit of this damage. A little bit more is going to leak through. Let's see what that bill is worth at the end of this and what exact life total Florin-Cristian Loghin goes down to. Because Jacob down to 11 still, but he's definitely turned this around. Got some cards and some resources away from Loghin. Let's see how big of a turn he's going to have. It looks like he's going to go down to 18 Both their players sub 20 here.
Yeah, well, Jacob can't, the most important thing is Jacob is unlikely. Oh, is he still going to keep Channel Lake Frigid in play? If that, I think he might have 2 ice cards in hand. Yeah. I think after that, he could just make a Tectonic, come in with the weapon, and still have a Channel Lake Frigid.
Yeah, this is something that I love when you get to do this in the Starvo list. That is 2 ice cards in the pitch zone and a Frosty Hammer coming across. This is a cold 4, so it's going to have that Frostbite on hit. And then at the end of the turn, the Channel Lake Frigid is going to go up to 2, but that's going to be met by those 2 ice cards in the pitch zone. Oh, this is a big-time card and a block here
Here we go. Channel Mount Heroic, block for 4, thanks to Embodiment.
Yeah, thanks, Embodiment.
Yep, I'll just soak up a full hammer hit. No Frostbite token for me. And, yeah, can he battle through another turn of Channel Lake? Can he get himself into a good position?
I'm loving this build of Briar
Ice,
from
Lightning,
Jacob.
Earth.
Oh, I was about to say.
With your powers combined.
I was about to say, if Jacob doesn't get a bit, yeah. Sonata, you're getting pitched for resources. You've been put into the corner in this game. You've already whiffed twice. We're not having that go again. Here we go, one of the classic attacks in Flesh and Blood. We've got an Enlightened Strike coming in for 5.
Well, the interesting thing for Florin here is he has a fuse, but he doesn't have any on-hits with it, I don't think, right? He doesn't have an on-hit in Arsenal. So it's like your opponent's on 11. They've still got an equipment block, like a Skullcap and thing. They might be able to take all of your turn without having to give you a card. And if they can take your whole turn without having to give you a card, they can come back for like 18 damage. And, if Florin's going to take damage to get the fuse off here, he's going to be on about 10. So he's not going to be able to take the next hit, right?
Yeah, it looks like he kind of agrees with you here. And I was about to ask, is this one of those spots where you're going to be giving up possible Starvo activations to make sure that you can survive the next couple turns, keep your life total up high enough? Now, that was a Lightning card pitched into a Lightning card.
Yeah, we could absolutely see that. It's interesting because, yeah, as I say, if you're not presenting on hits, and this is what Jacob said to me before the match, he's like, they can fuse like 3 or 4 times. I don't care as long as they're not presenting on hits. If they're not presenting on hits, Briar could just race them.
Yeah, generic damage. We've been talking about all weekend. Generic damage is not that good. Anything along with it, though, pretty powerful. It looks like I think that's going to be it for Jacob's turn. He's going to Arsenal up here, draw 4 cards. And come back over. The life total is almost even. We got Loghin down to 13 to Starvo, 11 over on the Briar side. With our powers combined, Matt Rogers, we are Captain Planet.
Here we go. But yeah, I mean, he presents 8 and then 4, right? So 12 damage. Whereas Jacob is on 11, but then still has multiple blocks left on equipment. So, he's lower. The Skullcap's blocking for 2. If he wants to give up the Tunic, he could just put all of his equipment in front of that hammer, not take an ice token. Channel Lake dies and pass turn still alive with a 5-card hand versus 13 life.
I think that's something he's definitely considering here. You see him checking the arsenal, checking the hand. He's like, how much of this can I take? How much of this can I tank? And what can I present coming back? We saw him block with a Channel Mount Heroic the turn before, so that card, maybe not in his hand. That's one of the ones that'd be really scary to stare down if you're a Loghin, but maybe there's another copy as well. But there is an Embodiment of Earth on the side as well to actually, help out a little bit with blocking too. So Jacob's going to have to do a lot of massive creative accounting here, figure out what life total he can go down to and what he can present on the way back. Because it's not just about staying alive, like you said.
Yeah, but he absolutely needs to get Florin to a part where Florin is blocking with multiple cards. So Florin's going to have an arsenal after this turn, and Jacob knows he's going to die to the next Starvo ability, right? So he has to get Florin down to the point where he only can have 2 cards, so he can't Starvo him again.
Yeah, you don't make it easy on him to make the Starvo activation.
Yeah, exactly. So if you can't get him into this point, I don't know. I think this is the pivot point of the game. If you're going to take all this damage, you've got to be able to do it. There's no if, buts, or maybes about it.
I think that's what he's considering here. That's what's taking long. I think Jacob's come to the conclusion that this is the most pivotal part of the game. Yeah. This is it. So it looks like we got the Skullcap block. I kind of like the Skullcap block now from Jacob. Making sure you get the 2 and you don't know how much longer this game's going to go. You might be able to get 2 blocks out of this way now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wonder if this... if he's just not going to care about the Frostbite token, or if he's just going to do, the block 4 on the Frostbite. So he's going to play with a four-card hand here. So I think what he's going to try to do is pressure enough that if Starvo has an off turn here, between the next 2 turns, he's going to be able to pressure his full, put him into that blocking cycle, right? Over the next 2 turns. So I think he's banking on Florin having a bit of an off turn.
Yeah, so we see, I just want to this is a channel, Mount
yep.
Heroic. Okay, I just want to count this up though. We still have the Tunic, we still have 1 Arcanic, we still have 1 helmet as well to block, so we've got 2 over there, plus an embodiment. Might be able to block something like 4 or 5 from hand.
I love this. Here we come in with the overblast. So if this thing hits, it gets go again, and then you have to worry that he has another 4 power attack that's coming in for 7 because of the channel, right?
Yeah, we'll have to find out here.
Oh man, this is interesting.
Now this is dominated as well. Don't forget.
Yeah. So if Florin has a block 3, he can crown for 1. He's got 2 on the equipment, so that's 3 plus 3 from hand. That's the 6. So he can stop this if he has a block 3. But if he doesn't have a block 3, he might be in trouble here.
Yeah. Well, let's see, what can he afford to give up from his hand as well? He wants to make sure that he's got a good attack coming back as well. You don't want to give the Briar a good turn of no pressure like you've been talking about. It's
all whether that other card in Jacob's hand is like a 4 attack card. Because, it's likely to be, right? If it is, he's going to be able to present another 7 damage after this. He's going to be able to flip the Snapdragons and come in for 4 with the weapon as well, right? So that's another 11 damage after this 6. So Florin's really got to decide how likely that is. If he can beat it, if he has it anyway. It may just be a thing of, well, if you have it, nothing I could do, so I can't play around it.
I'm going to recap this for everybody. So if Florin wants to stop this attack here, this has Dominate, so only 1 card from hand can be blocked on it. It does have Go again if it hits. So Florin's trying to think if he wants to stop it here this turn. So what he could do is, if he has a block 3 in his hand, he could block with that card, activate Crown of Seeds, block with Plating and with Crater Fist, and that would be the full 6. And so Overload would not hit and not have Go again this turn, and you would think that would end the attack.
Well, don't be so sure. That's the part where Jacob goes, gotcha, cracks the Snapdragon Scalers, then casts a Go Again attack afterwards. He was saving the Go Again attack to bait this, and then uses Tunic to come in with the weapon at the end as well.
Layers on layers this turn. This is where it gets really complicated.
This is the top level of the game. This is the Pro Tour. These are the plays that you got to be thinking about. Is my opponent trying to bait me into something here? What can they have? How bad is it for me if they have it?
Absolutely, and it's going to be bad if they do. We'll have to figure out what Florin's going to do here. Looks like he's going to sit back in his chair, take a long moment to think about it.
How cool has this game been so far?
Oh,
the
one
backs
of my favorites.
And forth, this has been an incredible game.
I got to say, I think this top 8 has been the best top 8 I've covered up to this date. Every one of the games has been good, back and forth, tense, really tense moments.
Yeah, I've been on the edge of my seat the whole time. Usually, I guess I would take breaks and stuff, and I'd go eat. I haven't eaten anything. I run to the bathroom, and pretty much people laugh at me running back. I don't want to miss a second of this top 8. I really don't.
Married to the game.
Yeah.
I've been running to the bathroom and back as well, by the way. I don't want to miss anything at all. People are trying to talk to you too busy, gotta go.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this is intense. It's all down to this play. If you make one misstep here, either side of the table, you're going to give up this game.
And you're going to be thinking about it for a long time as well.
Absolutely.
It'll keep you up at night. I know I've been there. I know I've messed up in this spot, and I did not sleep well for about a month.
Yeah, for a year or so for me, yeah.
I'd probably get over it a little easier than you do.
All right, so he has taken the hit. He says, you're not going to get me with that Snapdragon.
All right, so this was a pretty big attack behind this. You said we were wondering if there was a 4 attack behind this. So this is going to be attacking for 7 from the channel Mount Heroic. Okay, look, he's just got the Snapdragon in
Jacob
hand.
said, I'm Snapdragon unless I don't care what you do. This is coming down. You ready?
Yeah. This is happening.
Yeah. You're like, this could be face up. It doesn't matter. This is the play.
Yeah, he's got that Tunic counter ready. This represents 4 more damage behind this.
And this is the exact position that Jacob wants to get him in, where he's forced to block. Doesn't matter if you have Starvo, if you don't have the cards on your turn. You can't reveal them on my turn. If you got to block with them, no more Starvo.
No more Starvo. This Briar player, you know, I'm absolutely loving the build of this deck. You kind of pointed out the little differences that have been built into this, you know, the extra blues and stuff. And the more and more I'm watching it, the more I'm like, yeah, this just makes sense. This is really good.
Yeah, I feel like Jacob's really solved the Starvo matchup here, to be honest. I'm going to call it. I think this is genius. I think he's really figured out the best way to punish this deck. Is by just playing a bunch of blues and being able to pay for the, you know, basically for all of the frostbites and the stuff that they're doing, and then just keep pressure at pivotal moments of the game.
Absolutely, and you can see
Channel Mount Heroic.
That Snapdragons is looming.
Yeah. Jacob says, I don't care if this is face up. It doesn't matter. I am not. There is no way I'm forgetting this. This is happening. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Jacob just knows the deck well enough, knows the matchup well enough that he's like, it doesn't actually matter what your hand is. I'm getting it.
Yeah, give me them cards. Those belong to me now. So it looks like we got a block for 3. All right, Jacob, maybe double pumping here. Maybe a balk. Yep, go ahead. Give it go again.
Yep, go again now.
So damage is going to come through.
Is Florin able to not give up the hand? I think he is, right?
Yeah, he's going to have the, I was going to say, he can go down to 1 here if he wants to block with his equipment, which looks like that's what he's going to do.
Yep.
So Florin's going to go ahead and be like, and say that his hand might be good enough to get all of the hand of Jacob left or kill him.
Or kill him, yeah. So interesting. So he gets to go down to 1, turn off the skull cap, and then come in with a dominated attack. So how big is the dominated attack?
Was there arcane damage here? Does he stay at 3? I was going to say, did he play a...
Does he have a dominated attack? Does he have an earth attack?
Yeah, okay, there we go.
I think I see yellow pulse in his hand, and I think I see ice and lightning card. I don't see an attack yet. So
the way this
does he have one in Arsenal?
I was about to say, I don't know just yet. The way this turn played out, you got to believe he at least has this.
Yeah. Well,
what is the card in Arsenal?
He can cast the pulse, right? He can get a big earth attack and just go all in on that. So we got
like
big earth attacks coming in for 9 dominate versus 1 block on the tunic. So if he has another channel like a 3-block non-attack, then it's going to be 4 plus the 1 on the tunic is 5, and Jacob's going to be able to go down to 1.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about in the turn. I was counting it all up. I was like, the embodiment of Earth is actually going to play a huge key role here.
Absolutely.
Oh, here we go. It comes out of this. Crown of Seeds activation is going to draw that card that he put on top. This is a play I know you like to do quite a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. The pulse play is a lot of fun. So this is, if you have a non-attack action that blocks for 3, I think Jacob's going to win this game. If he doesn't, he's going to lose this game. That's what it comes down to.
Looks like he's already got a card selected in his hand. Does he have the non-attack? Yep. Wait.
Was that
an Enlightened Strike?
I don't think Enlightened Strike does it.
Wait, is this what's going on here? Is this a defense reaction?
Oh man, they are keeping us on the edge of our seats, that's for sure. What is the...
So here comes the Skull Cap.
No, Skull Cap doesn't block.
He's slow rolling all of us. He doesn't have it.
He does not have it.
What a game. What a well-played game from both sides. Florin-Cristian Loghin took the risk, went down to 1, and found the line. He's like, if you don't have a non-attack action in your hand to utilize that Earth, the embodiment of Earth, you are actually dead here. And oh my God, that might have been one of the closest back and forth games I've ever seen.